I see you've come. Come, sit down, and let me tell you something I've learned in my long life. You see, when you've lived as many years as I have, you realize something simple. Something many people spend their whole lives missing. The key to achieving anything is not doing more, but doing less. Less, but with focus. I know it sounds odd, doesn't it? Everyone today seems to be in a race to get more done, to check more things off their lists. But let me tell you, my dear friend, that's not the way. I've tried it all, worked myself into the ground, and you know what? It only led to exhaustion and worse. Distraction. It wasn't until I learned to focus, truly focus, that things began to change. And I'll tell you how I did it. I was once like you, busy, always rushing to finish this and that. I would work from dawn till dusk, thinking that success came from sheer effort. But the more I worked, the more distracted I became. My thoughts scattered like leaves in the wind, my energy drained by the noise of the world. Then came a turning point. I went to visit an old friend who was a quiet man, one who had never seemed to rush, never looked stressed. I asked him, "How do you do it? How do you accomplish everything and still stay calm?" He smiled at me and said,
You must learn to be like a river, my friend. The water flows steadily without hesitation. It doesn't try to force itself through obstacles. Instead, it flows with purpose, and it finds its path.
That's when I realized. I had been trying to force everything, trying to control every aspect of my life, my work, and my success. But true achievement comes not from force, but from a steady, focused flow. And this is how you can achieve anything without distraction. The first lesson I learned is this: you have to choose your direction. Distractions come when we don't know where we're headed. We're pulled in all directions by the demands of others, by the urgent things that seem so important in the moment. But if you don't have a clear vision, if you don't know what truly matters to you, then you're like a ship tossed around in a storm. Take a moment to reflect. What is it that you truly want? Not the things society tells you to want, not the things that seem flashy or popular, but what is your heart's true desire? When you know that, distractions lose their power. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I wanted to build something. A piece of furniture, a chair to be exact. But I was in a rush. I didn't take my time, and before I knew it, I had made a mess. Pieces didn't fit, the joints were crooked, and the whole thing was a disaster. Old man, I went back to the drawing board and decided to approach it differently. I slowed down, took each step with intention, measured twice, and cut once. I focused on each task, one at a time. And when I was finished, it was the most beautiful chair I had ever made, simple yet sturdy. The lesson here is simple. Focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to do everything at once. When you give your full attention to one thing, it becomes easier to complete, and the distractions fade away. And here's another lesson. In this noisy world, we need quiet, inner quiet. Without it, distractions rule us. Meditation was one of the greatest gifts I gave myself. It wasn't easy at first. My mind would race, jumping from one thought to the next, like a runaway train. But slowly, I learned to still it, to focus on the present moment, on my breath, and to let everything else slip away. You don't have to meditate for hours a day, but just a few minutes of quiet time can help you regain your focus, slow the rush of thoughts, and bring you back to what truly matters. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is something I learned the hard way. Take care of yourself. You cannot achieve anything if you're constantly worn out. We often think that working non-stop will get us ahead, but it only leads to burnout and even more distractions. Rest is just as important as work. It's in the rest that your mind clears, and you can find the clarity to continue on your journey. Make time for it. Don't neglect it. So, my friend, here's what I've learned. To achieve anything without distraction, you must focus on the one thing that matters most to you. You must embrace the quiet, slow your pace, and take care of yourself along the way. Life is not about rushing from task to task. It's about moving steadily, with intention. If you do this, you'll find that the distractions fade away, and the path ahead, though it may not always be easy, will be much clearer. Thank you for listening. I hope these lessons have helped you as they have helped me. Until next time, remember, slow down, breathe deeply, and stay focused on what matters most. Enjoyed this video? Give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more wisdom from an old man who's seen it all. Click the bell so you never miss a new lesson.